Be strong.
Hello, children. Welcome to another episode in English. English 6, Quarter 4, Week 2. It is MELC based. The title is Composing Clear and Coherent Sentences Using Appropriate Grammatical Structures, Subordinating and Coordinating Conjunctions. Before we proceed, I would like to request everyone to please subscribe, then click the notification bell for more updates of videos. Thank you! After going through this lesson, you are expected to compose clear and coherent sentences using appropriate grammatical structures, subordinating and coordinating conjunctions. In our previous lesson, you learned about identifying conjunction in sentences. Conjunctions are used to connect a variety of sentence elements. They can connect smaller parts of writing, such as words and phrases, but they are also used to connect separate sentences or independent clauses together into bigger and more complex sentences. This time, you will learn the different subordinating and coordinating conjunction and how they are used in sentences. To begin with, let us read a story about my first train ride. Okay. Please read with me. My first train ride. Just as I woke up on Saturday morning, my dad told me he has a surprise. Though it wouldn't be revealed until 1 p.m., Dad told me that this surprise is something that I was definitely going to enjoy. As soon as I heard about the surprise, I jumped out of the bed and got ready for the day. Although I was busy getting ready, I tried to keep guessing what the surprise could be. Once it was 12:30 in the afternoon, Dad said that we needed to go to the car so we could arrive at the surprise on time. Once we were all packed in the car, we left to drive to the surprise until we arrived. I kept thinking what the surprise could be. Just as we pulled into a parking lot, I saw a train. I asked Dad if we are going on a train ride. As soon as I asked him, he smiled. Before he could say anything else, I knew that's the surprise. Just as we got out of the car, we heard the buzzing from the train that it's closing and it's ready to go. Even though we don't have running shoes, we ran to make sure we hopped onto the train before it leaves. While on the train, we had a wonderful time and met many people. Whenever I see a train now, I think of this fond memory. It was my very first train ride. Now let us read and analyze the sentences taken from this story, my first train ride. Number 1, I jumped out of bed and get ready for the day. Number 2, Dad said that we needed to go to the car so we could arrive at the surprise on time. Number 3, while on the train, we had a wonderful time. 4, once we were all packed in the car, we left to drive to the surprise. 5th, even though we don't have running shoes, we ran to make sure we hop onto the train before it leaves. What What is the highlighted word in the first sentence? In the second, third, fourth, and the last? What do you call these highlighted words? Okay, these are the questions. We're going to answer that later. A conjunction is a word that connects or joins together words, phrases, clauses, or sentences. There are two kinds of conjunction, the subordinate and coordinate conjunction. Coordinating conjunction are used to connect two or more simple sentences or clauses called independent clauses. Examples: Ernie drank some water for he was thirsty. Maria doesn't drink milk nor does she eat butter. Tasha studied a lot but he didn't pass the test. Jose can buy a book or he can borrow it from the library. Tasha woke up early for school yet he was still late. As we continue with this, what are the highlighted words there on the paragraph on the search selection? So we have that one. These are and, so, while, even though. And we also have these two kinds of conjunction, the subordinate and coordinating conjunctions. Okay? It is easier to remember the coordinating conjunction if you think of the word fanboys. Okay, so just have this one, the acronym fanboy for coordinating conjunction. F for, A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. So this is fun boys. This is very easy when you have to remember the acronym fun boys for coordinating conjunction. What are the functions for this coordinating conjunction? For presents a reason and presents non-contrasting ideas, nor presents non-contrasting negative ideas, but presents contrast, or presents an alternative or a choice, yet presents a contrast or exception, and so presents a consequence. Do you understand? Good. Now, for subordinating or coordinating conjunction, connect or join a dependent clause to an independent clause in a sentence. You can write most sentences with subordinating conjunction in one or two different ways. Example, when my friends arrived, comma, I was still doing my homework. It can be, I was still doing my homework when my friends arrived. If a sentence begins with a subordinating conjunction, use a comma to separate two clauses. Okay? So, again, if a sentence begins with subordinating conjunction, use a comma to separate the two clauses, like this. When my friends arrived, I was still doing my homework. It was separated by comma. But this one, I was still doing my homework when my friends arrived. No comma at all. Because it isn't start with subordinating conjunction. Okay, these are some examples of subordinating conjunction. Again, after, although, as soon as, because, before, by the time, even if, even though, every time, if, in case, now that, once, since, so that, then, the first time, unless, until, when, whenever, whether or not, while, and why. So these are subordinating conjunctions. These are examples of subordinating conjunctions. Don't forget this, kids. Okay, for learning task 1, We're going to compose clear and coherent sentences by pairing the conjunction to sentences in the first and third column. Make sure your sentences will make sense. Do this in your notebook. So, we were going to pair this conjunction to the sentences there. The first and the third column together with the conjunctions here. Okay, let us read first. I like coffee. I've drunk 6 cups of coffee today. She must have been hungry. He doesn't eat cake. He is overweight and feels terrible. And the conjunctions there for, but, nor, yet, so. Then another sentence for the third column. I have a headache. She ate everything immediately. My wife prefers tea. Does she eat biscuits? He continues to eat lots of cakes and biscuits. So, you're going to compose a clear and coherent sentences. We have to pair this one for the first column and the third column. Of course, you're going to use the conjunctions here. But according to the direction, make sure your sentences will make sense. Okay? Okay, good. Like this one. Okay, these are the answer for one. Number 1, I love coffee, but my wife prefers tea. Then, number 2, I've drunk 6 cups of coffee today, so I have a headache. 3, she must have been hungry, for she ate everything immediately. He doesn't eat cake, nor does she eat biscuits. He is overweight and feels terrible, yet he continues to eat lots of cakes and biscuits. So that's it. Those are the answers for that pair of conjunctions and with sentences from the first column and the third column using those conjunctions. Do you understand? Good. So for learning task 2, for direction, you complete the sentences below to form clear and coherent sentences using subordinate conjunction. Do this in your notebook. So the first one, let us read from 1 to 5th, or from 1 to 5. Okay, number 1, I will study hard while blank. Number 2, my mother has to work for hours because. Then number 3, I need to think hard if. 4, I could not finish it although. 5th, I will go home when. So, you have to form clear and coherent sentences using the given subordinate conjunctions. Okay, now, are you ready? Let us answer now. Are you ready now? Okay. So, number 1, this is an example. I will study hard while I'm still young. For number 2, my mother has to work for hours because we belong to a big family. Next, I need to think hard if it is right or wrong decision. The next one, I could not finish it although it is simple project only. And number 5, I will go home when I finish this. Okay. These are samples that you're going to answer, okay? Good. Okay, this time for learning task 3, you will be the one to answer this, like what we did a while ago. So, you're going to read sentences in the first column, then find the related sentences in the third column. Then, you choose the appropriate coordinating conjunction to combine sentences. So, these are the coordinating conjunction. All you have to do is to combine the sentences here from column A to column to the third column, okay? But see to it that your sentences make sense. Okay? So this one is your turn to answer. All you have to do is to understand it and try to analyze if the sentence makes sense. You got it? Okay, good. That's your time to shine. That's your time to shine, okay? Then, for learning task 4, you're going to compose clear, coherent, and original sentences using the given subordinate conjunction. Do this in your notebook. Okay, number 1 is because, 2 so that, 3 when, 4 if, 5 although. Okay? So, now we're going to answer this. These are sample sentences, okay? For because, like this one, he inspires me always because he believes in me. For so that he can submit the assessment on time, he finished all his tasks. For the word when, for the subordinate when, I met him when I was in Singapore. How about if? If you find out, please let me know. Although I was tired, sleep didn't come. So these are samples of sentences for learning task 4. Is it clear, kids? Well done! So that's all for today, kids. Thank you. And again, if you're not able to subscribe yet, kids, try to subscribe it and click the notification bell for more updates of video. Thank you so much and God bless us all. Bye-bye. Stay safe, everyone.